Hello, 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 all you beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Journey into Freedom with me, your host, Red Gypsy. My co host, Scarlett, will probably be with us shortly. I just got the notification that we are live, at least on YouTube. So, hopefully, everyone finds us tonight. Gonna just give a little bit of time here, waiting on people to join us. Giving people a little bit of time to get with us here and say hello. I hope everyone is doing tremendously. There's been a lot, and I do mean a lot of bad energies floating around lately. But I do think that we've had a lot of trials and tribulations, so to speak. And I don't know, guys, if I'm getting comments from everywhere or not on StreamYard today. I know I will get them from YouTube, but I'm not sure if I'll get them from anywhere else. StreamYard was kind of giving me a hard time. And I reached out to a couple people before the show, but I didn't get to hear back from them, and I wanted to get started before it got too late. For me tonight. So, yeah. Colorado life. We're in that time of trading again for the year. So, trading with friends. Kind of what's going on. Says that we don't really have any viewers tonight. So, I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should try again later. I mean, this is the time. I am late tonight because StreamYard was giving me a hard time. But I'm really wondering if, like, I'm really actually streaming out there or not, because it was giving me a hard time. So I really don't know if it is actually streaming out there. So I'd love to know. Hi. whoever just joined. um, so homestead updates, David got a horse for his birthday. He was extremely excited about that. We were talking about it before, but finally, Smoke's here on the property now. And I now also have a girl, Thelma, 1-year-old wild caught and rescued Mustang. She's beautiful. She's my soulmate, y'all. Like my soulmate. Like you don't even know. um I love her incredibly already. She's completely untrained. Not even green broker yet. So that's been challenging, of course. And our one person that was here seemingly left, which again makes me really curious if we're actually doing what we're supposed to be doing here. I'm not really sure. But she is not even green broke. We've been doing a lot of work already with her. She's come a really, really long way already. I'm pretty proud of the accomplishments there. Work's been pretty great. Keeping up with that. About to get my good friend in at the farm with us. So that's been something I was working on today. But yeah, that's about the real basic of the. Oh, I haven't talked to you guys. Last Sunday, we didn't come on because we lost the queen of the herd. Tara is no longer with us. We did find trace amounts of hemlock in the new hay that we purchased. So that was a so that was difficult to deal with. She has been with us the longest. She has she was our first. So it's been very, very hard to accept that she has departed from us. But that's the reality. So that was what I was dealing with Sunday. She literally went down right before showtime, and there was just no way I was dealing with the emotion of losing um, the queen of the herd, as well as then the boy, my oldest, the shepherd of the family. He takes care of the herd, barefoot in Colorado. He that was his baby. Um, and I do mean his baby. But he decided that we weren't going to waste her, so then we butchered her out and distributed her amongst the neighbors. Um, so that was good. And that is why we skipped last week. And now we're back on track this week, hopefully. Well, on track this week. If I wasn't working so much, I would have more time to figure out more of the StreamYard stuff. But like I said, it was giving me a hard time tonight and not letting me like stream to everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with that. And it's just kind of being weird. So I got a thing into Scarlett and Mel, but I don't know when they'll get back to me just yet. But I'm sure sometime relatively soon. So we're going to continue talking about the secret universe of plants, as well as some intention setting, as well as we're going to talk about the Epstein thing, as well as this Wayfair thing. It's something that isn't necessarily new to me, but not anything that I had really been looking at very closely. Not Epstein. We all know that we had done some pretty deep, dark investigating into Epstein, Pizzagate, all of those things when they were happening through GIF, as well as through Clarity. So that's not new. The Wayfair thing, though, is new. I hadn't really heard much on that, and so I was looking into that quite a bit today as well. So I do wanna talk about that. I'm hoping to kind of wait it out a little bit until at least I can get um my co-host with me, Scarlett, because I know she wanted to be present. We're seeing what's up. See if we can call her. Oh, maybe it didn't actually boot me out. Interesting. So that just transpired. Super weird. Hey, I noticed it's not talking. Let's try it again. No, no, it's okay. Hello. All right then. Let's try that. Okay, am I back now? There we go. So I don't know what just happened there. It just cut my audio off. And I'm not really sure why. But I warned you it was being a little funky already tonight. So I guess I should just be prepared for a night of oddities. But, you know, such as it is. So, such as it is, you know, I don't know. So, yeah, so we're gonna discuss all of these things and delve into them. So I guess we can begin. Let's talk about setting some intentions. So things have been pretty negatively gross lately, and it's just like it's infectious. And so I think it's important that we take a moment during the day to set our intentions. Um, Even when that means like setting just an intent towards like negative vibes coming in towards us. Um, because those negative energies do affect us. But if we can set an intention to seek out those negatives a little bit. And when you come across someone that, you know, you're feeling those negative vibes, those negative energies for, I think that it's important for you to maybe just silently bless them. Have the intention of their well-being and their health, and no other real reaction. And I think that we need to set our intentions to, you know, find beauty and things in our everydays. If we set that intention, it will begin happening. Be right back, everyone. Sorry, we had a slight escape, and I need to get a hold of David right quick. I'm gonna have to send a message over that way. Hey Pam, I hope you're well. I was just talking about intention. So that's still what I'm talking about. But I'm a little pre-distracted at the moment. Getting a hold of David here. And we did that. There we go. Now I won't be distracted. So, how are you doing, Pam? Checking in with you. How have you been? What's been going on? COVID check. I hope all is going good with you. I also know that you usually have a bit of a delay. So, just kind of waiting. And you came in right upon my small little break here, where I announced everyone to hold on just a moment while I ran to go take care of Smokey quick, because while my oldest was watering, he slipped through the gate. Not that he was going anywhere, but you still gotta go get him and put him back in the bed. Which he didn't really want to do today. He wanted to be a free spirit, do his own thing. And so, yeah. Anyway, I ordered the snack crate, and I still haven't gotten it yet. It hasn't even shipped. It says that it'll ship by the 30th, so I'll keep you guys informed when I finally get it. I'll let you know. I got a deal on this first box. We'll see if it's worth it or not, because then after that it's like $50 for the plan that I signed up for, which is like the family plan, because I wanted enough to share with the whole family. And we also added a drink. And so for anyone who isn't familiar with the snack crate idea, it's basically snacks from different countries in a crate that they send out. And you get a different country and you get to try different things from those countries, which is super cool and amazing. So I decided to give it a try and order in this snack crate with the idea too that on the arrival of the snack crate and finding out what country we have, we could look up dishes from that country and have them. Yeah, it is a subscription service, Pam. And have like a meal plan around that country for the week, and try just like different meals that we can make at home around that country that we might not have thought about or done. Just as a way to do something a little new and a little different. Thought that would be a tremendous cool little plan. But like I said, I ordered it at the beginning, well, the end of last month even, and it says that it'll ship by the end of this month, I guess. So that's on its way. And I'll keep you guys, like I said, I'll keep you all informed on that, especially on the good snacks. Believe it, I'll let you know. So how have you been, Pam? Good, I'm hoping. So let's move forward with the plant series while I await both my co-host and Pam's response. Duh, 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 duh. So we're gonna do a very small recap here. Where we left off last was with Vogel knowing that masters of the art of yoga, as well as teachers of other forms of deep meditation, such as Zen, are unaware of things around them while in their meditative states. Also, that electroencephalographs pick up a very different set of brain waves in meditative states than when alert to the world around those same people. This helps Vogel. It's been extremely hot here, Pam, like super superior hot, like way hotter than normal. Okay. So I do understand the heat thing. I mean, I've been feeling like we've been melting into puddles here. And then, working on the farm too to boot. Like, whoa, killer. So I do totally get it. Super hot everywhere. Even here in Colorado, it's like way hotter than normal. At least I think it is. Um, Last year was hot, but not this hot. But winter was pretty brutal this year. Not gonna lie, like the 2 winters previous to this winter that I went through here, psh, so mild. So mild in comparison to this last one that we went through. I mean, we had like negative 30s and higher this year, this winter. So, um, yeah. But we do still get our good breezes. So that's always a bonus. The breeze is always good. It helps you at least feel a little less hot. I can only really tolerate moderate weather. With my thyroid stuff, I don't control my body temperature. I don't regulate my body temperature. So if I get too hot, too cold, either way, I tend to stay that way for a longer period and I don't like it. But I've gotten better. It's gotten a lot better since I've been working so much outside and in the sun. And I've been taking a lot of um extras in lately. And I'm 41 and taking on right now the training of a brand new mare, you know, filly, really, right now, is what she is. So this will keep me young. For sure. We'll see how it works out, but so far she's done great. Anyway, getting back over to things as usual. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just don't really think about that very, very much or very often. So, yeah. I don't give it a lot of thought. But as I was saying about intention setting, right? Which actually, oddly enough, ties into what we're going to talk about with plants too. But you know, set that intention for your day. Like, set the intention not to let that negativity cross your barriers. Set that intention to find the beauty, the positives, the pluses, the gains in everything around you for the day. If somebody comes off at you with an ugly and awful attitude, you know, rather than feeding into it in any way, you know, just send them a silent blessing.
Why'd I have to go home immediately?
Send them a wish of wellness and well-being. And do that. You don't have to do it out loud, do it silently. But this allows you to kind of focus on the intention.
Well, why'd I have to come home immediately?
So that, no, it was David. Of course it was David. He's trying to be at a barbecue. But David's been grounded, so that's been a thing, and he's not understanding the terminology of grounding. So that gets a little difficult sometimes. So I just think it very important, especially right now, that we have to set that intention, that want, that desire, not to be absorbing the negative around us, because it does affect us.
I hear you.
Now, you can just as easily set negative intentions upon yourself without even realizing it. So make sure that you avoid doing that. You know, make sure that your intentions are very clear and very, you don't want there to be any question in what your intentions are. Try to keep them pure and loving. Now, back to the secret universe of plants here.
I gave them a really good
So in
If
the
they start doing it again, call me.
in the meditative states, they have a different set of brainwaves. People have a different set of brainwaves. And he was, Vogel was able to record that on electroencephalographs. I'm sorry. Electroencephalographs. Now, don't overthink things though either. You know, make it very plain, make very simple, but very direct and very clear cut. Now, in understanding this, it helps. It's helping Vogel to understand that a certain focused state of consciousness on his own part was an integral and balancing part of the circuitry required to monitor his own plants more. Their brain waves, Pam. Their brain waves are different. People's brain waves, our brain waves, us as people, our brain waves are different in meditative states than they are in our regular alert to the world states. So he recognizes then his own ability to awaken a plant from what he calls somnolence to sensitivity, only by focusing a little extra part of his mind on the exact intent of the plant feeling happy, loved, and blessed with healthy growth. Thus, man and plant interact, and then unitively, they pick up sensations from events or third parties, which becomes recordable through the plant itself. Sensitizing only takes a few minutes and up to 30, according to Vogel. So Vogel describes that sensitizing in detail. He clears his mind. He quiets the senses, the sensory responses of the body organs. Then he becomes aware energetically of a relationship between himself and the plant. And when this balance between bioelectrical potential of both himself and the plant is actually achieved, the plant becomes like it's in a meditative state, no longer sensitive to temperature, noise, everyday normal electrical fields around it, or even other plants. So responding then only to Vogel, who has either hypnotized or truly tuned himself into the plant. Vogel even felt confident enough to go on a local TV program in San Francisco to do a public demonstration with his plant. So with his plant coupled to the pen recorder, he gave a live illustration of various states of his own mind, all the way from irritation at the interviewer's questions to quiet being established when he was in harmonious intercommunication. I'm not sure what you mean about the rings in a tree trunk. So elaborate a little more on that, Pam. Now, with you know, interharmonious intercommunication with the plant. He then got involved with an ABC TV program called You Asked For It. Vogel demonstrated plant response to another person's thoughts, up to and including thoughts and the release of strong emotion on command. Also showing his ability to quiet the plant to normal reactions to its environment again. During his lectures to audiences that he was invited to perform by those who had heard of his experimentations, he unequivocally stated it to be fact that man can and does indeed communicate with plant life. Plants are living objects, sensitive, rooted in space. They may be blind, deaf, and even dumb according to human sense. He would state that he had just no doubt in his own mind that they were extremely sensitive instruments for measuring man's emotions. He also claims facts that plants radiate energy forces beneficial to humans. He says that you can feel these forces. Plants feed into an individual's own force field, which then feeds energy back to the plant. Vogel even went so far as to say that the Native Americans were keenly aware of these abilities in plants. He even spoke of a ritual they did when in need, where they would go into the woods, arms stretched out, placing their backs to a pine tree and replenishing themselves with its power. So when Vogel started demonstrating plants' actual sensitivity to states of attention that differed from the supposed or conceived awareness, or what we humans call consciousness, that the reactions of the skeptics and or hostile observers seem to actually produce very strange effects within himself. He discovered that by focusing on those negative attitudes emanating from the audience, Vogel could isolate the individuals and then counter the effect with a simple deep breath learned in his yoga instruction, and then switch his mind to another mental image, just as though he was changing a dial to a different setting. This feeling of hostility and negativity is one of the main barriers of effective communication. This force counteraction is the hardest task during public demonstrations of the plant experiments. If one cannot do this, the plant and equipment will go dead, and no response will happen until a positive tie is reestablished. So, yes, sort of. That would play into it definitely. I would think similarly, Pam, but not. Vogel has found a much deeper effect of actual communication with the tree rather than just cutting it open or figuring it out. He could answer these things by these experiments and these electrodes and the recording of the response of the energy from the tree through the leaves. Now, this makes Vogel seemingly like a filter system that limits the response of a plant to its outside environment when he's doing these demonstrations. So Vogel can turn this on and off so that people and plant become mutually responsive by charging the plant with energy within himself. He then can use the plant to build up sensitivity to this kind of work. Vogel strongly believes that it's highly important that everyone understands that the plant's response, in his own opinion, is not from intellectual source from the plant itself, but rather the plant becomes an extension of himself or whomever the connection is made with. This allows one to interact with the bioelectric field of the plant or through the plant with thought and emotion of a third party. Thus, Vogel's conclusion that there is a life force or cosmic energy that surrounds all living things and is thus shareable between animals, humans, and plants alike. Through such sharing, a plant and person can become as one. This exact oneness is what makes possible a mutual sensitivity, allowing plant and man not only to intercommunicate, but to be able to record these communications via the plant on recorded charts. Due to his own observations indicating an interchange, even a fusion of energies when plants and man commune, Vogel still found himself wondering if an exceptionally sensitive person could actually really get into a plant, as there was at this time a report from a 16th century German mystic, Jacob Boehme, a young illuminated man, that described being able to see in another dimension. Jacob claimed he could look at a growing plant and suddenly, by will to do so, mingle or be part of the plant, feeling its simplicities of life, struggling toward the light, able to share in all the simple ambitions of said plant, even able to rejoice with a joyously growing leaf. One day in San Diego, Vogel was visited by Debbie Sapp, a quiet girl who was able to impress him with her ability to enter into an instant rapport with his philodendron as established by his instruments. When the plant was calm, Vogel straight asked Debbie, "Can you get into that plant?" She nodded. Her face became an attitude of quiet repose, of detachment, as though she was far away in another universe. Immediately, the recording pen began tracing patterns of undulations, which revealed to Vogel that the plant was receiving unusual amounts of energy. In Debbie's own words, she described the experience in writing. And I quote, "Mr. Vogel asked me to relax and project myself into the philodendron. Several things took place as I began to carry out his request. First, I wondered exactly how I could get inside a plant. I made a conscious decision to let my imagination take over and found myself entering the main stem through a doorway at the base. Once inside, I saw the moving cells and water traveling upward through the stem and let myself move with this upward flow. Approaching the spreading leaves in my imagination, I could feel myself being drawn from an imaginary world into a realm over which I had no control. There were no mental pictures, but rather a feeling that I was becoming part of and filling out a broad, expansive surface. This seemed to me to be describable only as pure consciousness." Um, I felt acceptance and positive protection by the plant. There was no sense of time, just a feeling of unity in existence and in space. I smiled spontaneously and let myself be one with the plant. Then Mr. Vogel asked me to relax. When he said this, I realized I was very tired but peaceful. All of my energy had been with the plant. That was her exact written quote. Okay. Give me all just 1 minute. I'll be right back with you. We're going to do a restream